Hey everybody, welcome back to Men Do Therapy, a show dedicated to men on their journey to mental wellness. Today we're talking about Father's Day, and June is Men's Health Month, so let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Rene Garcia. I'm your host here at Men Do Therapy. We have a great episode today. We're going to be covering fatherhood, Father's Day, as well as my 3 favorite gifts to give your dad this year as we celebrate Father's Day coming up. You know, Father's Day for me is a really special time. I actually became a dad in 2007, so I was about 23 at the time. And I have to admit, it was just one of the scariest things to ever happen. But I love my daughter. I'll go ahead and put a picture of her right here. This is when she was first born. And see, now she's 14, or 13, about to be 14 this year, which is just wild to me. But it's just been one of the best experiences of my life. But Father's Day to me has always been a very special day. It's always been something that I am excited about every year. And I think it's also a day to celebrate the role of fatherhood and really almost recognize a lot of the significant need for a presence of a father in a child's life. And I love that saying, presence over presents. I think that's a really great phrase that I want to make sure that we're talking about today. And one of the things that I want to talk about is why we even celebrate Father's Day. And to me, like I said, I think it's a day where we can just focus on all the great things that our dads or father figures really do for ourselves. And, I know there's great gifts out there like these, the cup that says, strength, guidance, humor, all these kind of fun little things, or maybe a shirt that has some kind of little pun on it, best dad by par, all these things. Look, it's not a bad thing, and I don't think those things are bad gifts, but I think there's some really great gifts out there that I think could really help out a little bit more in celebrating what our dads do for us. And we're not just talking about biological fathers here. We're talking about stepfathers, guardian fathers, fathers that have legal guardianship over the child, adopted fathers, grandfathers, mothers who obviously play the both role sometimes when there is an absent father. And then, of course, the fathers that are no longer with us. We want to make sure that we're remembering them in a correct way, and that's really honoring their legacy. And I think fatherhood for me was so scary because it seemed as though, you don't really get training for it. You don't really, there's books out there, but there's also, I think there's an overall fear of what kind of dad you're going to be at least when I had my child. And so, I want this to be a time where we can go and reflect and really look back at, if you do have a great relationship with your father, that's great, how we can improve it. And then also, too, if you may not have a great relationship with your dad, maybe some things that we can do to really assist in that, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is my journey through being a father. And it was really scary. I was lucky to have family that was able to support me at that time, as my daughter was not planned at that time. But she came in and she just took all of our hearts, and we were able to really rally around her mother and I, and really support her in a way that I felt was the best we could. And obviously, being a young dad, you're still kind of dealing with your own shit, right? You're dealing with your own shit of who you are, what you're trying to do with your life, what kind of identity you're going to be having moving on. And I think for me, I had not a lot of direction because I wasn't asking for help. I was kind of keeping it all in. And I think sometimes, at least my experience, sometimes men do that more, is just because they may not be saying something doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of emotion or confusion or fear going on the inside. And that can come out in a lot of different ways. Come out in, maladaptive behaviors, emotional lability, where we're kind of up and down, feeling, really not great. And I think sometimes we just need that help. And so what I want to do is just give you three different, gifts that you can probably think about giving your dad this year to really close that gap and really be empathetic to his needs and supportive. All right. So gift number 1. All right. Ask him when he had his last annual physical. It's a big one. All right. So as you can see in this page, I'm going to pull it up real quick. When we're looking at screenings for men, we're doing a couple of different things. We're looking at screening for medical issues, assessing risk for future medical problems, encouraging healthy lifestyles, being updated on vaccinations, as well as building a rapport with a primary care physician. If you have insurance, more times than not, a lot of times these annual physicals are covered at 100%. So really it's just you actually going up there and getting it done as part of preventative care. And really, you might have to pay a little bit for labs as far as, lab work, blood work, and things like that. But ultimately, the screening itself should be covered by a lot of major insurance. Obviously, I can't guarantee all of them. Check with your insurance providers. If you don't have insurance, there's a lot of community clinics that do assist in providing this care for you. And like I said, they can do it at a really great price. And the preventative care is really important because, again, the story on the outside may be very different from what's going on the inside. And for example, when I was about 27, 28, I noticed, man, I'm experiencing a lot of low energy. I'm experiencing a lot of time where I just feel kind of down. And there was really no reason for it to be. You can't tell. I've always been a big guy my entire life, but I always had this energy. And around 28, it just kind of stopped. And I have a good friend in med school at the time, and she said, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, you know what? I don't know if it's a testosterone issue or something where I was just so low energy. And she goes, you might want to go get your thyroid checked. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't have thyroid issues. I'm 28. There's no reason for me to have them. And sure enough, she was 100% correct. I went and got my blood work done, and my doctor said, look, you have some thyroid issues. And the funniest thing is I remember this conversation very clearly. He looked at me and he goes, look, this is thyroid issues. And I go, well, what does that mean? And he goes, well, chances are you're going to have to take a pill probably for the rest of your life every day. And the air just, it just fell out of me. I just remember sinking in my chair and just feeling so bummed out. And in a moment of great empathy and support, my physician came over to me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he goes, hey man, it's not that bad. Be glad you're catching it right now and not 20 years down the road. And I thought that was very sweet. I think a lot of times when we think of doctor, we think they can be kind of cold and once you get you out the door. But I'll always remember that doctor just coming up and being like, hey man, it's all good. Don't worry about it. This is something that is absolutely controllable. And it's a good thing we caught it now. I think it's really important. And I think sometimes not only as in this little screen grab that I have, it says 18 to 39. You know, a lot of times our 18-year-old teenagers as well as 20-year-olds, it almost feels like they're invincible to where these things are not touchable to them, or it should be somebody else going through these medical issues. But really, as soon as you come into adulthood, 18, 19, 20, I definitely encourage as many of my clients to start getting annual physicals because, again, sometimes even with mental health issues can be addressed if we're getting the proper physical care as well. And so this is usually one of the first things I ask when I start screening for new clients is, when was the last time you had a physical? Now, for my guys over 40, this is really important. Around 40 and then age 50 is when you really want to start discussing with your doctor, when is it to start getting colon cancer screenings, right? When are we doing to go and get colon cancer screenings to see for any colon cancer, prostate cancer, things like that? Because again, we want to make sure that if there is bad news, we can find it sooner rather than later. You know, a lot of the times I think my men want to just wait until the very end or wait until things are severe and then we ask for help. But again, the more we can preventively find this stuff early on, the better chance we have of treating it before it just gets too late. All right. So that's gift number one. Talk to your dad or your father figure. Hey, Dad, hey, I love you so much. I just want to know, when was your last physical? Okay. And you don't have to tell me the results. I just want to make sure that you're going and making sure that we're building that rapport with that doctor. Because that's the other point. We want to have a doctor that we can reach out to, that we trust when things are not going well, or if we do need that support. I love my primary care doctor. He's a cool dude. I can sit there and talk to him for a long time. He's very supportive and just is a way that if he doesn't have the answer, he can send me in the right direction. And I think that relationship you have with your primary care physician is unbelievably important as you get older. All right. Okay. Gift number 2. Take something off of his plate. Okay, give this person a break, all right? Yes, it's very sweet. You got them grill stuff with their names on it. Yes, you got them an apron. Number one, that's cool and everything like that. How about you take something off their plate? Give them a break, all right? I pulled up this this article from the Washington Post. Americans left 768 million days of paid time off unused in 2018. Okay, so in other words, the people that had time off that was actually just there to be used here in the United States of America, 768 million days were not used in total here in the U.S. in 2018. That was 2018. This is 2021. We're coming out of a pandemic. A lot of people have been cooped up. A lot of people have been overstressed, managing these emotions. Maybe there hasn't been an ability for them to take time off, but really encourage breaks. When was the last time you took a break? Hey, Dad, you got some PTO? Let's take a day or two. Let's go fishing. Let's go relax. Let's go watch a movie. Let's just sleep in. Let's do something together. Encourage some breaks. Encourage time off. Not only for him, but chances are for you as well, that we're managing our own stress from the pandemic. And what better way to relax it than using this PTO? All right. I understand some people like to stockpile it and maybe plan to take a really big day off. I'm not too sure how often that happens. A big time off, excuse me. I'm not sure how often we really do that thing, but I really would encourage you, if you have the time, take it. It's there for you. It's there for you to do anything you need to relax and take a break. All right. That's gift number 2. Gift number 3. Very important. Give this dude a hug. Give this dude a hug. Show some affection. Show some love. Show him that it's okay to express outward emotions, as well as not just hold it all in. Okay? But you allowing physical connection, physical contact, allowing an expression of what's going on the inside, what you're doing is you're making it okay to discuss these things when maybe stuff isn't so nice. Maybe during some very stressful days. We want to make sure we're giving that physical attention, that physical connection, making sure it's okay to express emotions. It's a way for them to build that communication with you and really build that trust. All 3 of these gifts do not cost anything. Quite honestly, they've already been paid for. It's just a matter of us recognizing these things and bringing them up to light to where we can have that connection and we can build that connection with our dads. All right. I hope this helps. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. It's been one of my greatest roles is to become a dad for my daughter. And I hope for those soon-to-be dads, they realize that it's a great role to inherit. All right. So take care, like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep in touch. Peace.